Before I call the member for Fairfax, the honourable member for Fairfax, I would remind the House that this is the honourable member's maiden speech and that I ask the House to extend the same courtesies to him as we have just extended to the member for Indi. I call the honourable member for Fairfax.
Madam Speaker, Australians know who I am, where I come from. They know I love my family and I love Australia. In 1918, my father, at the age of 9, went to see a silent movie. By the time he was 14, he was producing and starring in his own movies. He went on to become the world's youngest movie producer, as he was known in Hollywood at the time in the United States. He returned to Australia to establish radio station 3AK in Melbourne and Radio 7UV in Tasmania. Prime Minister Lyons of the United Australia Party opened Radio 3AK. I've still got the recording. My mother was born in Penguin, Tasmania, and left in 1940 to work in ammunition production in Melbourne. Family members have served this nation in the First and Second World Wars, some giving their life for Australian freedom. My nephew, Squadron Leader Martin Brewster, served with Interfed in Timor, and all of them have done for Australia more than I could ever do. Like half of all Australians, I lost my first partner, Sue, and her love and our children, Michael and Emily, sustain me every day. My wife, Anna, and my lovely 5-year-old, or middle 5 as she says, daughter, Mary, reminds me of that every day, that what life is all about, love for each other, and the love we have for each other in the future. I look forward to the coming weeks when I'll again become a father, and I have a strong resolve to serve our nation and a strong resolve not to let the people of Fairfax down. Fairfax has been taken for granted for many years. My election is a reminder to the major parties that they must truly serve all Australians. As it's been said, let us not seek the Liberal answer or the Labor answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix blame for the past, but let us accept our own responsibility for the future. We meet today in a city which itself has reconciled our people at difficult times in the nation's history. A city in this last century and the last has been witness to the trials and tribulations of our people. At a time when the nation lacks direction and needs to set sail on a new course. How long can Parliament remain indifferent to the needs of all Australians? How long can government be deaf to the everyday struggles of all Australians? They must be on top of the national agenda. On this small speck in the universe, planet Earth, we must do all that we can to help each other. Our main concern needs to rest with how we can grow and expand our economy, create more wealth, not wealth for the wealthy but for all, even the least among us. As a wise man once said many years ago, injustice to a man anywhere is an injustice to all men everywhere. We live today in a nation where the roads are no longer safe, where ambulance remove the carnage from our highways, when the infant mortality rate of our Indigenous people is twice that of the Australian community, where the life expectancy of many of our poorer and downtrodden citizens is less than it should be, where health services are declining, where our elderly and veterans are forgotten, where the tyranny of distance separates the hopes and the aspirations of remote Australia, where despair of the homeless and unemployed robs the nation of the productivity of our citizens. Tasmanians, I found out during our election campaign, feel abandoned by mainland Australia. The ghosts of the Anzacs calls us to action, to stimulate our economic activity. We must ignite the creativity of all our citizens. Chairman Mao said a long time ago that women hold up half the sky. Yet women received their vote in 1902, but prejudice still remains. Leadership, not complacency, is our need today. In Parliament, in Cabinet, we need more women. The nation needs a strong economy with efficient production. Australia still has a AAA credit rating. The decline in Queensland's credit rating has been followed by a decline in services. Our citizens need to live in a civilised life. Government is not about business, It's about creating the environment to allow all our economy to flourish, to grow revenue to sustain the nation, to provide income and security to all Australians. Confidence is low. Our standard of living has declined. We must use our resources better. We are not prisoners to the world economy, helplessly adrift in a sea of despair. The problems we have been made by Australians and can be solved by Australians. We should not accept defeat by just cutting and slashing, lest the reaper reaps more than he can sow. Borrowing to avoid the problem, to put off the day, is not the real solution. We need in this place and at this time to set a national agenda for growth, a goal for all of us. When the day comes, and it most surely will, when citizens elected by the people take a proper and full responsibility for the welfare of their fellow citizens. When we treat other Australians as we would want them to treat us, then we can surely know that we do God's will. Public service has no reward other than the service of others. It's the legacy we leave future generations. History is our real judge. Let us work together, not as opponents in this place, but as colleagues, joined by time and space to serve the nation we love. Australians have lost hope in the future. Change is certain. Success reflects our ability to adapt to that change. It's not individuals' personalities that are important. It's not demeaning comments about those who sit opposite that are important. After all of us in this place have merely offered our lives to serve, and the challenge is really what we can do to make life better for our fellow Australians. At the last election, Palmer United Party won 5.5% of the vote, becoming Australia's fourth largest party. The Prime Minister only became Prime Minister because the coalition received the Palmer preferences. Palmer United outpolled the National Party. Palmer United elected one member, me, of the House of Representatives, and 3 senators, only to find our last senator to be denied his position in the Senate by the AEC losing the ballot boxes in Western Australia. Palmer United and the motorists will hold the balance of power in the Senate. In Western Australia, our polling is showing that we can win 2 senators if an election is held today. In Fairfax, Palmer United received one of the largest swings in the nation's history of 50.3%. That's why I'm here. The Murdoch News poll showed others as being 12.4% recently, but they didn't list Palmer United. I think we must be in the others. Our recent polling has shown that we're now polling about 10% of the nation, nearly twice as much as the vote we received at the election. Many Australians believe that a vote for Palmer was a wasted vote. Now our party vote is solidified. I want to thank all the 150 candidates stood in every seat available in the House of Representatives, and our Senate teams and our party members in every state and every territory. Political courage is one of the rarest commodities, and in Queensland our state leader, Dr Alex Douglas, and his deputy Carl Judge defend freedom and the rights of individuals before a difficult parliament and in an impossible situation. They're putting the rights of Australians and putting principle before political expediency, a lesson we can all learn. The entrenchment of the two-party system in this country not only threatens democracy, it destroys the creativity of the nation. It robs from all of us the benefit of each other's ideas and the innovation. The Ford estimates in August 2013 projected provisional tax receipts for 2014 would exceed $70 billion. Instead of making our companies and business pay this tax quarterly in advance based on an estimate, we need to let them pay it yearly based on what they actually earn. If we keep $70 billion in enterprises' hands, then they can spend it better than the government. Australia will create real demand, massive job growth and reduce unemployment. Turbocharge our economy. If $70 billion is spent by individual taxpayers, the government gets 10% GST. The government gets $7 billion every time it's spent by our citizens. and the government anyway will receive the $70 billion at the end of each year. More hospitals, schools, a rising standard of living, increased wealth and revenue means we can make Australians' lives better. At current interest rates, it would cost around $800 million a year, but generate billions each year for the nation. We must and we have to stimulate domestic demand. The government is the top petitioner of bankruptcy and liquidations, and as a result, our businesses close, our employees lose their jobs, and we lose out as a nation. We lose group tax, company tax, exports, GST and jobs. Stop government driving businesses to the wall. Let people stay employed. Transferring people from gainful employment to unemployment just guarantees misery for all of us. Find a better way, such as Chapter 11 in the United States. The US doesn't petition bankruptcies, the US government. They stimulate the economy. You know, the loss of 1 year's income due to unemployment is more than it costs for 5 years of education at high school. To neglect education performance is not only bad policy, it's bad economics. Our Army, Navy and Air Force personnel protect and defend us all. We must link all service pensions to male total average earnings. Expand the gold card benefits to peacekeepers and to spouses of our very brave veterans. We need to support regional Australia by introducing zonal taxation. Regional areas need doctors and professionals to grow. Regional industries benefit all of Australia. We have to end this discrimination about regional industries and allowing them to compete in international markets. If Australians are satisfied with what their government is doing now is enough, is adequate for Australia and our future, Australians can accept their lot. But if, as I do, they see Australia's future as doing more than we've done so far, expanding our economy, not cutting, not borrowing, but looking to grow the nation that we love, they should give everyone the support to have an agenda of growth and enterprise for this nation. The nation has the strength and the potential to live out its heritage and to fulfil the dreams of the Anzacs, to return Australia to a lucky country, to restore our economy, to reclaim our national heritage. Many people say they care, but they really don't. Parliament should be about the needs of others, but sometimes it's not. In Queensland, the mulga is dying, drought and flood have combined to rain havoc on families of that region. How can we not act? How can we complain about animal welfare overseas when we let thousands of cattle die a slow and painful death? How can we let Australian families suffer? Are we so indifferent to the needs of our fellow Australians? It's our responsibility in this place to be the last sentry at the gate to protect the rights of freedom of all Australians, regardless of what party they belong to. Australia needs a revolution in the way we think, in the way we boost our wealth and our economy for the benefit of all our citizens. We have to re-establish confidence. We need to believe we can lift our economy to a better future. We need to have a positive attitude. We may not win and we may not get there, but nothing is surer that we will fail if we don't project a positive agenda for the nation in a positive manner. Public service and political life must be the highest calling. The catch cry of this place needs to be respect for ideas. Great debate demands its victim, and truth is the only winner. But we're all winners when truth prevails over injustice. The content of our individual characters is more important than how much money we have. We need to be praised and to praise the incorruptibility of our public officials, the integrity of our marriages, and the worth of our people. It's ideas that matter. Governments may come and go, but ideas go on forever. It's the ideas that will shape this nation, ideas that will endure through time. We are gone and forgotten in history, in commerce, and in politics. It's the ideas that capture the conscience of the nation. It's ideas that endure when all else is gone. Let us unite to serve the nation, We love to discover the future, to share our trials and tribulations, to overcome adversity, to pull together for our common good under the Southern Cross, and to know, as a great man said, that on this earth God's work must truly be our own. Thank you.